Okay, so Chulin Chof Tes. Yeah, but we're gonna start. We're still in Chof Ches on the base. Yeah. Review Daim Achi Yishchedes Avridim. So this is it's about 10 lines from the top. Hello. Review Daim Achi Yishchedes Avridim. Review Daim Achi Yishchedes Avridim. Omrav Chizda. Loy Omar Reb Yehuda Elo yeah Elo Boif. Hoyel v'tzalu kulay ke'echad. So we're going to see this halacha that the right that there's a problem with the dam, right, and you need the dam to run out. So by a oif, it's possible that you might be eating the whole bird altogether. You might leave it altogether. So since you're going to hold it all together, so the blood is not going to have any ability to drain completely, and therefore you have to shech the vridim as well, like Rebuda. However, but mashenka by a behema ultimately no one eats the whole behema. Generally speaking, you don't eat the behema all complete, so you don't have to cut the vridim even with Rebuda. I mean, it happens to be. I mean, it's mentioned that amol somebody if you're gonna do if you do a whole sheep if they do the whole sheep kechad, then taka you have to cut the vridin even with Rebuda, even with Reb Chizda. Yeah. However, to look kechad. Avu behema given to menatcha eva leitzarach. Yeah. Fragt the Gemara. Remember the time of Rebuda mishum dam. So it comes out that the reason for Rabbi Yehuda is only Mishum Damu. It has nothing to do with the Shechita. It's not the Ma'aser Shechita. V'hatnan Rabbi Yehuda ad sheyishchoit es havridin. So what's the kasha? So why does it say ad sheyishchoit es havridin? What does it have to do with the Shechita? Yeah? What does it have to do with the Shechita? Why is the Lashon of Shechita? Ema ad sheyinkev es havridin. Ema ad sheyinkev es havridim. He should just Rabbi Yehuda should have said that what they all you have to do is puncture the vridin, right? No, it's okay. I'm sorry. Ema ad sheyinkev es havridim. My ad sheyishchoit ad sheyinkev b'shashchita. It means it doesn't mean that you have to shech the freedom. It's not a din shchita. It's you have to puncture it. It's just, but the reason why we use the lashon of achi yishchedes freedom because you have to do it b'shah shchita. Like we're going to see soon that the Gemara is going to say that the pshat is we need it right in the beginning when the heart is still pumping and it's gonna and the blood's going to run. Otherwise, the blood is not going to run. It's not going to drain as well. Yeah, I mean the lashon of Rashi is the reason is because she'adam cham v'yotzei. But I mean I think the reason why I think it's the heart that pumps it out. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Yeah, she'adam cham v'yotzei when it's still hot, it runs out. Okay. Toshma vridim b'shchita divrei Rabbi Yehuda. So it's weiter mashma. It has to be b'shas shchita. Ema. Vridin tzarich lenakvam b'shas shchita devrei Yehuda. The same nekuda that has to be b'shas shchita because that's what the dam is cham. Tashma amru lo Rabbi Yehuda me'achesh lehuzkiru vridin el lohitim mehem dam mali b'shchita mali shaloi b'shas shchita. Yeah, so this is what the Chachamim said. Who cares? Ultimately, we'll cut it. Why do you have to cut it b'shas shchita? Mechlal Rabbi Yehuda sava b'shchita. Yeah, Rabbi Yehuda, it's mashma. Rabbi Yehuda needs it after b'shas shchita. Hachikamila mali lenakvam b'shas shchita, mali lenakvam shalei b'shas shchita. But taken chanami, it's only Rabbi Yehuda doesn't hold it's a chelik of the shchita. It's only that he holds that he needs a nikov b'shas shchita. V'husava and Rabbi Yehuda takasava b'shas shchita asidam dechayim shlei b'shas shchita le'asidam dekar. When it's still warm, that's when the shchita the dam taka runs out. Shlei b'shas shchita, it's not going to become. So that's the shaila. The shaila is if it's going to come if the dam is going to come out when it's still cham. Yep. By Rabbi Yirmiyah, and Rabbi Yirmiyah, Rashi says Rabbi Yirmiyah didn't know this member of Rav Chizda, so Rabbi Yirmiyah claimed, V'ridim Rabbi Yehuda, Shah bahen, Daras bahen mao. What happens if you made a shia before he cut the vridin, or he made a derisa, he chopped the vridin? What's Allah? Is it a shchita or not? Amalei Husab b'Hachi Amar Rav Lezer v'Amri Va'amri lo amar le'ahu saba l'Rabbi Eliezer, haki am Rabbi Yochanan, menakvan b'koitz vein ksherim. You could even just poke them. You could just puncture them. That's enough. Tani kavasi Rav Chizda, shachad shnei chatzai simonim be'oif. Possible, yeah. If you shechted only two halves by the simon ba'if is possible, because even though I did altogether a complete simon, one simon echad, but I need roiv of each one. Possible. Ve'in tzarich loyma be'behema, right? Rabbi Yehuda Omer ba'oif ad sheyishched es haveshet es haveridin. So it's clear that it's dafka ba'oif where Rabbi Yehuda needed the veridin. Okay, so now here we have to shmuz. We have to discuss Pasha, what's the taich of the vridin? What is the vridin? Where are the vridin? So it's interessant that the mitzias is the oif and a behema is slightly different. Yeah. That's right. There's veins and there's arteries, right? There's veins and there's arteries. What are veins, right? Arteries are the smaller but stronger pipes flowing from the heart, right? That's the arteries, and those arteries they have the they have the blood that has oxygen, and it's flowing from the heart. And there's two arteries that are going by oif. There's two arteries that go up to the head, but they're not next to the veshet kona b'chlal. They are in the mafrekes. They're in the what's called the reiv basar of the around the mafrekes. Yeah, that's where they are by oif. So the only vridin that it could be talking about by the what's called by the oif are right behind the veshet are these two, like you see this picture, these two veins. These are taka the jugular veins of the oif, right? Now, so that's the betzias taka by oif, and it's very gishmak, like the Gemara said before. The Gemara said before that it's the reason why we chapped on the veshet in Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda said about this brayse. It's really about the brayse that we just spoke about. Rabbi Yehuda says achi yishched es veshet es avridin, and the question was loitamad dama that it says that it has to be dafka by a oif, dafka to veshet, and not the kana. Let's bring a raya from there that it's dafka to veshet. Why do you say dafka to veshet in the kana? The Gemara says it's not a raya. Why? Because it's the veshet. Because since it's going to Rabbi Yehuda is talking about the veridin, right? So and the veridin are right next to the veshet, right? Now that's true taka by oif. The veridin are right next to the veshet, and very gishmak. So that's Yana Gemara that says that the veridin are right next to the veshet. We're talking about those two veridin that are the two veins, the jugular veins that are right behind the veshet. I just want to say one knage, but the orkim, the arteries, right, are in the mafrekes, right? So it's very gishmak. With the Gemara is going to say we're going to have later on. The Gemara is going to say that by oif by kachim ledambu tzarich and fakert, and we're going to see that that's the svaras fakert. We're going to see that it's mistabed. There's even a tzad. Maybe Rabbi Yehuda's only said as halacha legabi kachim. Yet there's the Rajb, the Tosfos Rosh says such a svara, right? There's no question about it. Kachim, we know that the tachlis is to get the blood. That's the tachlis. It's a big chelik of the tachlis is to get the blood. And memela, it's mistaber and that's why you should shech the vridin. Maybe that's why we cut them a freckes. Maybe that's why it's a malika. Because that's where the urkim are. So you don't just get the vridin. You get those other those other big bleeders. You get the urkim also. Those other big veins. Those big vridin in and that's the tachlis for that's why it should be a malika and not a shechita. Befrat, Yeah, befrat like the lumdis of the Achronim say that by Malika be'etzem, ultimately Malika is shchitas asimonim through the Eirif. So why taka do you go by Eirif? Why did the Torah want it to be like that? The reason is because Lamaisa ladam utzarich, and since ladam utzarich, there's going to be much more blood taka through the arkim, through the arkim. That's what I would say as far. Okay. Anyway, Bekitza, that's one thing. The big tumult is, however, by a behema. By a behema, if you hold that if you shechted a behema against a behema together, right? If you're planning on holding it, keeping it together, keeping it whole, right? Then a behema you also have to shecht the vridin. So what are the vridin, right? And the shmuz is because by a behema the metzias is. By a behema, the metzias is that a behema. This is a cross section of a behema. The Shechita Chulin has one also, but this is from Chulin Illuminated. He has a fancier picture. This is what it looks like. Yeah. Now, if you want to see what it looks like, just this is a cross section of what it looks like. So this is the mafrekis, right? This is all part of the mafrekis, right? And here's this is the kana, and this is the veshet, right? Now, I don't know why they have the veshet on the side, not exactly over here in the middle. I thought the veshet is right opposite, right over here. And that's the veshet that we had right yesterday was right here. I don't know why they have it on the side, but okay. Anyway, Bekitza, that's how they have the picture. I don't know why. Okay. Anyway, but Akoponim, they have like this. There's really six pipes. There's six pipes here. There's two over here. There's the artery, two arteries here. The two arteries that are giving that are going away from the heart. Then there's these two veins, yeah. And then if you move far away over here, there is bigger veins, the jugular veins, or these two veins. So the shaila is, what are we talking about? Which one is the veridin? So vered normally is a lot of different svaras. One svara is that vered means a rose. A rose is red, and the arteries are red, but the what's called are normally blue. They look blue. The ones without oxygen are blue. So that would be mashma. That would be mashma that you need the arteries, right? But then on the other hand, by a oif, it's clearly talking about the veins, right? And Lamaisa, there's a Haggah under Ramah, and it's not clear exactly who wrote that Haggah. It's not clear who it was. He says vinin. Vinin is the veins, not the what's called. Okay. Anyway, so that's the Shiloh. Exactly which one, if it means this one, which one exactly it means. What is the veridin? Which one's the veridin? I just want to say one. Another kinech over here. Stam, what's the? I heard a share about this. I just want to say two kinech. First of all, what is the lashon of simonim? I'm waiting a share. Why are they called simonim? Why is the kana and the veshet called simonim? Why are they called simonim? So I heard this far, but the way we were saying yesterday that the whole tachlis of shchita is pashut that you see is dam nefesh. That's pashut. That the dam nefesh, that's what we're doing. So memela and fakert, and we're not makbid on the veridin. We're not makbid on the main bleeders, right? That's not where it comes from, right? So how do we know? So we just know that there will be a yitzias dam nefesh when you cut the simonim. So it's very gishmak. It's mamish simonim. It's mamish klar. It's not coming necessarily through the simonim. Maybe they do come. I don't know. Maybe everything starts to bleed. I don't know exactly how it works. But I don't know exactly the mitzvahs exactly how it goes. But bottom line is, it's very, very clear that there are simonim for the dam. That's not where the blood comes from. It's not the source of the blood. One is the stomach, and one is the lungs. Right? That's not. Yes, so it's very gishmak why they're called simonim. Yeah, good. That's Nekuda Aleph. Nekuda Beis is like this. Where's the Lashon Veshet come from? So apparently there's a ganze there's a ganze a whole schmooze. Apparently, the Zoyar says that veshet, the word veshet comes from a lashon of bizoyin. It says vayivas esav es abachoira, right? And on that the Targum says vishat, right? So memela, so that's a lashon of vayi of shot is a lashon of bizayin. So what's the svara? And the svara is because there's a bizayin here of bizayin of what's the bizayin? Because there's food. Food is horrible. Yeah, food is bizayin. It's full of dirt. Yeah, that svara is a murdiga plane. What?
To shame somebody.
Yeah, it's dirty. It's dirty. It's not clean, and that would be the lashon of veshet. That's what the Zohar says. That's what the that's what he says. So his taina the this sefer that brings it down. I forgot who it is. His taina is that l'chura that it can't be that veshet means a lashon of veshet comes from the lashon of shot because vayivez vav. The vav is a prefix, right? But in vayivez, vishat is a b'chayra. Mashenkin over here, veshet is a chelik of the word. So why is the vav a chelik of the word? This is the taina of this sefer. Zok the yavitz. I'll tell you the teretz. It's not a kasha. You know why it has the vav why it has a vav part of the word? Because it's always said kana uveshet. So since it always said kana uveshet, kana, right? Kana uveshet. So memela, what? Memela. So that's how the vav became part of the word. Yeah. So that's what the Yavitz time. So I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting because if you look at the Gemara over here, the Gemara that brings down kana uveshet doesn't bring it down kana uveshet. Our Gemara that brings it down. Melamed shenitztava Moshe ala veshet v'ala kana. Says veshet before kana. Yeah. So they always used to say veshet and kana veshet, and then afterwards they said it's a little bit shver. And also, if you look at Rashi's ger is two vavs, vav shentes, veshet with two vavs. Yeah. So I would say, maybe to say a svara where the lashon of veshet comes from. That veshet comes from. I don't know where the two vavs come from. Again, the same problem where the two vavs come from. But maybe like this. The word is if you contrast the kana to the veshet, the kana is bumpy, right? It has all the cholyos, and the veshet is flat. Right, so one of them is a bumpy pipe, and one of them is a straight pipe. Vav is always a lashon of a stick, a vav. Vav shot. It's the vav that's shot. It's a lashon of it goes straight. It's like you shot up mayim. You're floating. You're going smooth. So you're right. So that's lashon of vav shot. That would be the lashon maybe of the veshet. That's what I would want to suggest. Okay. Zok the Gemara. Nachasugya. Zok the Gemara chatzi echad b'oif. Zok the Gemara chatzi echad b'oif. Itmar machlekes. Rav Omar mechza al mechza kiroiv. Rav Kana Omar mechza al mechza ena kiroiv. So it comes out of murdiga nafkamina. A murdiga chiddush here. That and the Havaminas Gemara, we're going to see the Gemara is going to fall off from this, but at least in the Havaminas Gemara, the Gemara assumes that the Machlokes Rav and Rav Kana was Legabe Shchita and Legabe Shchita Gufa. Do we need a ganze roiv or is half and half good? Yeah. Now we're going to see soon. That in this, I think the way to shtel this the shaila in the sugya is to make it a yesh lachkar. In Rav that says mechza al mechza karoiv, does he mean to say that the pshat is that it's as if I have roiv, or the word is I don't need more than half? That's the shaila. Yeah. Again, Do I mechza? The mechza, Raiv is kilu kuloi. But mechza, the pshat is I don't need more than half. It's right, or no. Rav is saying mechza is kiraiv, meaning that it's as if I have a majority. That's the shaila. Now it's going to be there's a lot of maramakayos. The Bi'alacha says. Sefer Shchitas Chulin brings down from the Bi'alacha. The Bi'alacha says that the mechza by mechza you have to say that you never need a roif because mechza can't be kiroif. Yeah, that's but midach kisa the lashon of Rav is mechza kiroif. Okay, let's tell Avek as a tooth studim, and then we'll go back. We'll go back once we see the Gemara. We'll see what we have to how we're going to learn. Okay, it my Rav Amachsa Kiroif. Rav Kana Amachsa in the Kiroif. Rav Amachsa Kiroif. Hachi Amalei Rachmana LeMoshe. This is what Hakadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe. Loi Teshayeruba. Make sure you don't let Roiv of the Siman to remain. Right? It's ganz mashma, very clear, right? It's very, very clear from this Lashon HaGemara that the pshat is, it's not the pshat is mechza is kiroi. It's loy tishayeruba. Right? It's pretty clear from this Lashon of the Gemara that it's not the pshat is that mechza is kiroi. It's just I don't need half. Yeah, as is mashma, right? Very cool. Yep. Rav Kana Amar. Yeah, we're going to move right there. Rav Kana Amar Mechza Inu Kiroiv. Hachi Am Le'Rachman LeMoshe Shchoit Ruba. Yeah. Okay. Good. So the Gemara again. Another siman. Siman Chatzi Katina Gagaris Pegima. Tanan. Trying to talk to Gemara. Tanan Chatzi Echad B'Oif the Chatzi Echad B'Oif the Echad v'Chetzi B'Behema Shchitas Psula. It says Mefurish that half and half is not good. Half of a siman by a oif or 1.5 by Behema Shchitas Psula is Mefurish that what that it's not good. I am Mechza Kiroiv Amai Posel Havelei Roiv. Roiv, yeah. What's the pshat with Rav? So tomorrow we Rabbanon. Tilmo le'asi le'mevet palga. That the pshat is in Rabbanon. They said that you have to have a roiv, but Avad it's not mi'ikaradin. Yeah, very good. Okay, that's nishki kasha and Rav. Amar Rav Katina. Tashma cholka l'shnayim. What's this case? This case is cholka l'shnayim. I had a tanner. A tanner is made out of a klicheres. A klicheres, it has no tire b'mikvah. It only aids to break it. But if you break it, if it's still roiv, it's not considered broken. So it has to be broken up into less than roiv for it to be considered broken. Yeah. Tashma chulkei l'shnayim. If let's say he split down the tanner into half, exactly half. The hein shavin. Two equal halves. Shneim tameim. So the Brisa says both of them are tamei. Why are they both tamei? Because the fishi yeshel tamtim. Because it's impossible to know for sure that any one of them is not roiv. So each one has to be choishish that it's roiv, and roiv is not good. So maybe they're both tamei. Good. So far so good. Yeah. Frakti Marakash. But let's say it would be possible that we could be absolutely certain that we got it down the line exactly, right? Then it would be tar, because each one is half. Frak the Gemara, amai toirim, zilhachay karuba. Each one should have it in like Roiv, like Rav. Right? This is a little bit of a here, right? Here's already a mashmois that Lot Rav has it in like Roiv, right? And for the Gemara started his mamish before it's like that. Amar Rav Papi, Shrei Ruby Bechad Mana Leka. That two Roivs in one Keli we can't say we can't say. They say it's like this. Even though Rav holds that mechza is keroiv, but you can only say mechza keroiv if I'm going to have only one mechza. But if I'm going to have two mechzas, I can say both of them that they're roiv. I don't say that. Why? Because it's a stira. It's mefurish over here in this Gemara that the pshat is that we're saying that mechza is keroiv, not the pshat is mechza is ain't keroiv. Yeah, mamish mafurish. Yeah, that's the mamish. There's no other way to learn it. That l'chura, it's very clear. Even though the lashon of the Gemara is that Rav is saying loy teshaya ruba, but it's mafurish in the Gemara that the Gemara is saying that Roy that the mechza is keroiv in Rav. Yeah. Well, is keroiv. Yeah, klar, mamish klar. Yeah, and lemaisa, that's the lashon of Rav. Rav said mechza is keroiv. Mechza is kiroiv. He didn't say mechza is kikuloi, just like we say rubai kikuloi. He said mechza is kiroiv. Yeah? And it's got before in Rashi. It's just this Rashi needs a lot of help. Yeah? Oh, so no, so at this point in the Gemara is naming on Fahavim, that mechza is kiroiv is kol Torah kula. You don't need roiv. Yeah, at this point in the Gemara. Now there's a very, very big. The Tosfos really on Tosfos and Chav Testament Aleph muchzach very stark that here's a sugya about mechza keroiv, not mechza not keroiv, and the Gemara Claire's asking a few kashas. The Gemara falls off from it lamaisa, right? And there's another such sugya that's very, very similar in the Eruvin, and over there also the Gemara has other kashas and other terutzim, and over there we taka paskin mechza is keroiv. Tosfos wants to know what exactly is. Yeah, what exactly is going on over here? Where are we learning what? Yeah, what exactly is going on? But Akopanim, and so it could be that the Bi'alacha is talking about over there, and not the mechza of this sugya. But Akopanim, this sugya of mechza keroiv is the word is that Rav is saying that it's saying that it's roiv. Yeah. So the question is, so what's lashon Gemara that the Gemara says Hachi Amalei Rachmana LeMoshe Lo Teshaya Ruba? What do you mean Hachi Amalei Rachmana Lo Teshaya Ruba? No, Rakash Baruch Hu said that mechza is keroiv, not Lo Teshaya Ruba. Yeah. So Rashi really muchzach, but look, Rachmana LeMoshe Kshamasa Moshe LeHilchas Shchita Al Peh. He said Lo Teshaya Ruba. V'Hada Amar Shenitztav Moshe Lishchit Roiv. Hainu mechza al mechza. The kiva de Lo Yishtaya Ruba. Roiv shachat karile. So in that same Rashi clearly is saying that the pshat is that it's roiv shachat karile, right? So what's the vort? What's the pshat in the hachi amalei Moshe hachi amalei leMoshe lo teshaya ruba? So I want to just say. Belez Breira, I want to say like this, that the Gemara before said, Melamed shenitztava Moshe al aveshet v'alakon v'alrevecha ba'oifa v'alrev shnayim b'behema, right? And over there, it was going on the pasuk of it says, Zavachta kasher tzivisicha. V'zavachta, you should do something kasher tzivisicha, right? So, if in the words of v'zavachta, you should do something, over there, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you should shecht. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu said something about Roiv. It's a little bit shver. That what do you mean? Why did he say something about Roiv? There's no Roiv. It's only Mechza. So on that we're saying that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, where did HaKadosh Baruch Hu mention about Roiv? The Teretz is HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, over there he said, like Teshaya Ruba. But Soif go Soif, what are we saying? We're saying that it's Roiv, but when we say Roiv Echad B'Oif and Roiv Shnayim B'Vehema, what we mean to say is that it has a din like Roiv. Okay, I think that's the Azir that from learning in the Gemara. Okay, let's go weiter. So Gemara weiter. Toshma Shachad Chatzi Gageres V'Shabam. If he shechted a Chatzi Gageres V'Shabam. If he shechted. He already shechted half the gageres, and then he made a shihiyah. So once he made a shihiyah, it's over. V'shar k'dei shchita acheres. We had this price already before. V'gam rosh shchita s'ksheira. Frekti gemara kasha. V'i amrid mechza keroiv. If it's mechza keroiv, why we say the halacha is that besides that the halacha of roiv legabe shchitas hasimonim, the same halacha is legabe the gageres the kana that it becomes a treifa by roiv if it has a cut by roiv. So frekti gemara v'amrid mechza keroiv. So then it became already a treifa. It's like it's roiv cut, and if it's a roiv cut, it's a treifa, and if it's a treifa, so why is it kosher? So we're talking about in the case of boif. And Mamela, what? Mimon avshach. Since we're talking about a oif, and therefore I have a mimon avshach. If you're going to go with the mechzal mechza that it's roiv, ruba, I already shechted it. So Mamela, there's nothing to worry about. So Mamela, in such a case, right? In such a case, if I cut it half and half, so Mamela, what? It's good. If it's half and half, if the shchita didn't happen yet, so right, if mechzal mechza is keroiv, so it's already geshacht in a kosher way. If it's not, if mechzal mechza ain't a keroiv, so then what? I'm going to make a so it didn't happen yet. So Mamela shecht weiter. So in other words, the Gemara at this point is saying a svara in the gzeira that we said midrabanan. That even though Rav so holds that midaraisa mechzal mechza is keroiv, and midrabanan we say that you have to shecht roiv because maybe you won't shecht roiv, but by a oif we don't have such a chashash. Why don't we have such a chashash? Because by a oif, as long as you're going to finish off the shechting, memarav shechet's kosher. Yeah. That's the Gemara. So the Gemara Tashma Haresha. Yeah, this is all in the Havamina. Tashma Haresha Chatzi Kana Pogum. The Hoysafal of Kol Shu. Here's a case where you can't say Mamon of Shach because he didn't shech the first half. It was Pogum beforehand. Chatzi Kana Pogum Hoysafal of Kol Shu. And he added over a little bit. The Gamra Shchitase Kesheira. Yeah, the Gamra is Shchitase Kesheira. The Amid Mechsal Mechsas Keroiv. Treifa have you right? Right? If mechzal is keroiv, so it's a treifa. Now, I don't know why Rashi has to say this. The Gemara yesterday brought down this brisa, and the Gemara wanted to ask a kasha from the Madam that holds that you have to shech the veshet, and the Gemara said no, it could be talking about by him as well. So Rashi insists that over here the Gemara is ba'oif. Haresha yechatzi kana pogam v'yisrael koshu v'gamra shchitasik sheira. I mean, this kasha could be v'yamid mechsa karoiv treifa havya. This kasha could be if it's a behema as well. Either way, the ma'isa it's roiv cut. So maybe it's a treifa. So he's a treifa. I don't know why it has to be by oif. Why does it have to be by oif? Side by behema, side by oif. If the con is cut, it's a treifa. Okay. Amar Rav Shani Lin Yitreifa to be a Rav Aniralayin Hayim. So Rav is saying he's already chopping off a piece of this Rav. Even though Rav holds Mechzal Karoiv, but when it comes to Treifa, no, by Treifus, for it to become Nifsal, by Treifus, it needs a Rav Aniralayin Hayim. In other words, in other words, and this is another raya, not like that svara that the Torah just says Loy Teshaya Ruba. That the pshat is that even though Mechzal is kiroiv, and it has a din like roiv, but over here, that kind of roiv is not enough. I need a roiv hanira leinayim. In other words, I need a roiv that everybody could see that it's roiv. In other words, that it has, it's more than half. Amalei Abaya v'lai kol dechenu. So Abai is not asking me svara to this chilik. If Rav is saying that the pshat is I'm going to be that I'm going to be mekel agabe treifus, it's not mistaba that by treifus, if mechza is keroiv b'chol Torah kula, when it comes to treifus, where treifus, most of the time a regular even a little puncture is a treifa. Over there, it's not mistaba that we're mekel for this roiv. Amalei Abai v'lai kol dechenu ma treifa to be mashu mitzvah. Many things are just a mashu makes a treifa. Hechad to be a ruba, being a so but over here by a kana, we're a kana, then you need a roiv for it to become a treifa. We say it's not considered roiv until it's a roiv hanir l'nayim. In other words, it's a real roiv. Shchita, da'adek aruba le'miskasher. Shchita that needs that there's no such thing as having a shchita without roiv. Like hoshkein to be in a roiv hanir l'nayim. Avada, it can't be that Rav is saying this chilik, and now obviously if Rav is saying mechsa karoiv, we need a new pshat for Rav. Ella, the kuliyama mechsa eine keroiv. V'chiyit med Rav kanal and Pesach itma. As I think it's so. I don't know. It's a very interesting Gemara. It was misread, miszugestellt. It was talking about a different case. Totally no shaykhs to anything. Hareisha yisol mechza Torah mechza tabeim. If Klal Yisrael was split down the middle, exactly half and half Toirim and half Tameim. So the question is, are they Nitchel Pesach Sheni or not Nitchel Pesach Sheni? Are they Nitchel Pesach Sheni, or do they bring the Karban Pesach be Tumah? That's the Shaila. Rav Amar Mechza Mechza Kiroiv. Rav Kanama Mechza Mechza Kiroiv. And why over there is there a din of Mechza Mechza El Kiroiv by Rav? V'asa my time with the Rav. D'chsiv ish ki yeh tamid lanefesh. Ish nitche ve'inzi b'nidachim. That the pshat is that we can't be matche the tzibur. You have to bleib a yachid. And once you're half, so you don't bleib a yachid. You're already not. You can't say that half a Klal Yisrael is nitche becomes, and they all considered yechidim, because yechidim is by definition a miyat. We're the minority, and if we're mechza, we're not the minority. And since it can't be that a yachid is not nitcha, so therefore, in such a case, Rav is going to say mechza keroiv. That the halacha is that in such a case, if Klal Yisrael is bamished down, split down 50-50, so half. Rashi says half of Klal Yisrael is going to bring the Karban Pesach b'Taira, and the other half is going to bring it b'Tumah. Okay. Zok Gemara weiter. Let's move on to the next Gemara. Yeah, the Mishnah is very interesting. Let's see the Mishnah again. It's very important to see the Mishnah again inside. Zok the Mishnah. Mishnah is like this: Hashoichet echad ba'oif u'shnayim bebehema shchitas ikshera. Right? So it says roiv clearly, right? It says roiv clearly in the Reisha. But let's remember the signal in the Mishnah. It says hashoichet echad ba'oif v'shnayim bebehema. So first it says oif, then it says behema. Hashoichet echad ba'oif v'shnayim bebehema shchitas ikshera v'ruba shalachah kamayu. Then Rabbi Yehuda says achi yish chidas avidim. And then it says chatzi echad ba'oif v'chatzi echad v'chetz bebehema shchitas imsul. Okay. And then the Mishnah seems to repeat itself. Roiv echad ba'oif, roiv shnayim bebehema shchitas ikshera. That seems like a repetition. We already said ruba shalacha kamayu. That's going to be the Gemara's kasha. But it's important to remember that it says roiv echad ba'oif, roiv shnayim bebehema before shchitas ikshera. It says roiv ba'oif first and then behema. So the Gemara. Roiv echad ba'oif. Roiv echad ba'oif. Fact the Gemara. Tanina chadazim that we already had it. Ruba shalacha kamayu. We already said it. Yeah. And here comes another simon. Hakash pashach simon. So this was the klal. So Rabbi Shia, he's the right. He starts the sugya. So Rabbi Shia chada bechulin v'chada bekachim. That there's one bechulin and one bekachim. Utricha the yashmin and chulin hasan hu desagile beruba mishum delav ledam utzarich. Avakachim deladam utzarich ema loy tesagi le beruba. I would think I don't need rohiv ad the ikekuleim. Yeah. Until I need the whole thing, because I have to make sure that all the blood comes out, right? Again, that's this vart that by kachim is ladam utzarich ad ikekule. Yeah, no, but it comes out another thing that the siman of the simonim are a siman for how much blood you have, right? And the simonim are a share of how much blood you have, but it's only a siman for how much blood it comes. It doesn't come from the simonim, but they're a siman for how much blood you have. V'yashmin kachim mishum deladam utzarich. V'yashminan kachim. Oh, I'm just thinking another thing over here. I'm just thinking another thing. Maybe this is since I'm just it dawned on me. Maybe that's why oif has one siman, because of the difference of where the veins are situated in the neck of a oif versus a behema. Since a behema has the simanim in a different place, that's why it needs two, and it has the viridin lemaisa. The blood is coming from different places, so mela it needs more simanim. It could be. Okay, anyway, I would think that a half is enough. Yeah, so that's the Gemara. which one is Bechul and which one is Bekachim? So the Maharam is very niskash on this Gemara, because you have many times in the Gemara where the Gemara says we repeated it, to know for sure that if it would only say once, I would think it's only by Chulin. Now that it said it twice, I know that it's Sai by Chulin, Sai by Kachim. Which one is Chulin, which one is Kachim? I don't know. Right? The Gemara doesn't necessarily here. The Gemara is going to go through a whole Amud Gemara trying to prove which one is Kachim and which one is Chulin. Yeah. So as you could have said that in Echanami, sometimes we don't know. Here we have a raya, and that's why the Gemara is being marich. But the Maisa the Teisar Rosh says a Gavaldig Gishmak, Pshat, very Gishmak. If the Reisha Rabbi Yehuda says Achi Yishcheres Avridin, right? Rabbi Yehuda says Achi Yishcheres Avridin only on the Reisha, not on the Sefer. The question is, maybe it would be mistaber to say that Rabbi Yehuda is saying Achi Yishcheres Avridin only by Kachim, and that there's only halacha of Achi Yishcheres Avridin by Kachim because of the Damu Tzarech. Memela, that's why we want to know if we're saying that the Reisha is B'Kachim and not the Sefer is B'Kachim. Yeah, that's the Teisar Rosh Hashanah. So the Gemara Amrav Kana Mistabra, no, Reisha B'Chulin v'Sefer B'Kachim. The first one is B'Chulin and the Sefer is B'Kachim. So the Gemara Mimai Mi Diktani HaShoichet. Since it says the Lashon of B'Diavad HaShoichet V'Yisakadayta Reisha B'Kachim. If it's talking about Reisha B'Kachim, Hamoilik mi boilei, it should have said Hamoilik. Why? Because Oif by Kachim is b'Malika. Right now, Rashi read Zois. Obviously, we don't have a Havamina that you're going to say Hamoilik Echad b'Oif Ushnayim b'Behema. You can't do that. But the bottom line is, we'll say Malika and Shchita. Right? We should have said Hamoilik Echad b'Oif Oy Sheichet Shnai bebehema, if it was talking about kachim. Frankly more, what can I do? The Elamai Sefer, B'Kachim. So how do you get better? So, okay, so you're going to say the Sefer is B'Kachim. But the Sefer also says Shchitasai, right? Elamai Sefer, B'Kachim, Shchitasik Sheira. Why does it say Shchitasik Sheira? Milikasik Sheira, it should have said Milikasik Sheira again by Kachim. So, tomorrow, Kasha. In the Sefer, because again, in both signing the Reisha and signing the Sefer, it says Oif before Behema, right? Now the question is, which word are we talking about? In the Reisha it says HaShoichet, and then it says Oif and Behema, and the Sefer it says Oif Behema and then Shchitasek Sheira. So the question is, which one it's next to? Holikasha, I did the Solik Ben Behema. We said Ruba Shel Echad. Roiv echad be'oif and roiv shnai be'behema shchitasik sheira. So the salak be'behema talinai b'shchitasik sheira is nish gefeilach. But el reisha michdi al oif koi. But by the reisha we're starting to talk about oif. Oif comes first. Isagadai b'kachim hamoilik me'boile. Since if the reisha was talking about kachim, it should have said hamoilik echad be'oif. Very gishmak raya. Yeah, that's the Gemara's raya that the reisha is talking about chulin and the sefer is talking about kachim. Rav Sim Ba'ashi Amar. Yeah, that was Rav Kana's right. Rav Sim Ba'ashi Amar Reisha B'Chulin Me'acha. I'll prove you the same thing. That Reisha is B'Chulin and Sefer is B'Kachim. The Katani Echad Be'oif. It says Echad Be'oif. V'Yisal Kedai to B'Kachim. And if we're talking about Kachim, Ha'ika Oilas Ha'oif the Boish Nei Simanim. Yeah, Avada by oil soif that you're supposed to be mavdil. So memela, I need two simanim. So therefore, you can't say ashoichet echad b'oif. It's not echad b'oif. It's shnai b'oif. Frankly, more the same kasha. Elamai sefer b'kachim roiv echad b'oif ha'ika oilas ha'oif the boyish shnei simanim. Why don't we have the same problem in the sefer where it says roiv echad b'oif and you need two simanim by oil soif? So the Gemara, my roiv echad. Roiv kol echad ve'echad. In other words, we use a lashon that's going to be a par of a lashon in the sefer. Roiv echad is not a lashon. It doesn't say hashoichet echad boif. When it says hashoichet echad boif, it means I only cut one. But roiv echad is a little bit of a par of a lashon. Ubedino the listening roiv shnayim. So Rav Simi Vashi's taina is that in the Reisha where it says Hashoichet Echad Ba'oif, it's clearly that I'm only shechting one, and that's a lashon that obviously is not mishtama for Il Soif, because Il Soif I have to shecht two. Mashenk in the Sefer where it says Roiv Echad means Roiv Shel Kol Echad, and in other words, what we're saying is that by Oif it's by kachim of Oif sometimes Roiv of each one is how. And it depends on how many you need. Yeah, that's the second shot. Rav Papa Amar Reisha B'chulin Miyocha. I'll prove you again the Reisha's B'chulin from a different makar. The Katani Rabbi Yehuda Ma'ache Yishchad Asavridin. Rabbi Yehuda says that what? That I have to shech the vridin. Upligi Rabbanan Ale. It's only Rabbi Yehuda that holds like that. I Amar B'shlam B'chulin Shaper. Eli Amar B'kachim. Amai Pligi Rabbanan Ale. Hu Atzmoi L'damu Tzarich. So Rav Papa says Misvara that you hear this Amar Gezach that the vridin must be cut by kachim. You must cut the vridin because who asked me the dambutzarch? Yeah, even though it doesn't say it. So I'm telling you, that's why it's so gishmak. If the pshat simanim are just a simon how much blood came out, so it's much gishmaker that we're all talking about. We are talking about the blood. It's not like we're not talking about the blood. We are talking about the blood. The whole shechita is about the blood. It's all about drawing the blood. He's going to bring a raya not that the reisha is bechulin, but a raya that the sefer is bekachim. This is going to be the next mishnah. The mishnah later on is going to say what? Hashoichet shnei roshim ke'echad. If somebody shechts two heads right next to each other, he has the two animals lined up together, and he shechts two at once. Shnei roshim ke'echad shchitasik sheira. But it says hashoichet the evident l'chatchila loy. And we're going to see the drasha. But the problem is that if we're talking about by chulin, why is it only been the avid? Even lechatchila, why shouldn't I be able to shech two heads? Yep. So what's the thing by kachim that lechatchila loy? It says tizbach. The pasuk really says tizbachuhu, right? L'ritzonchem tizbachu. And there's a whole plant in the Achronim. I'll just say how Rashi says it, but exactly how this drasha goes. But it says really tizbachuhu. Right? But when it says l'ritzonchem tizbachu, it says it as a chaser. It doesn't say. Let me see if I can find the pasuk here. Oh, v'chi sizbachu zevach shlomim laHashem. V'chi sizbachu zevach shlomim laHashem l'ritzonchem tizbachu. When it says tizbachu, it says the chu, the ches is without a vav. It says it a chaser. So since it says it chaser, so we darshan first of all tizbach and tizbacheyu, two drushes. Tizbach, and from the fact that the pasuk says an extra who is hevav, we say tizbacheyu. But in Bekitza we don't darshan any tizbachu hu and tizbach. So we darshan Zok Rabbi Yosef. Shum Nitani Rabbi Yosef. Tizbach shlei shnayim shoichtim zevach echot. Tizbach, only one person should even, right? And tizbach. Tizbecheyu shleiyei echad sheichet shnei zvachim. That you should shecht that one at a time, not two. Rav Kana tizbecheyu ksiv. Even though it's pronounced tizbachuhu, but we darshan it yesh em lemesayris tizbecheyu. That without the vav. Now this is a big shmuz, and the Rishonim are very very famuchet. Why we're going with Yeshem l'Meseris and not Yeshem l'Mikra? It's a machlek as always. Why are we darshaning tizbecheyu? It's mashma that Rashi's coming to Bavar in that kasha, and Rashi's saying that it's geboit on the fact that we have the first Rasha. V'ibalt we're darshaning tizbach from the fact that there's no vav. We darshan that there's a tizbach. And once we darshan is a tizbach, so now we're on that. We're darshaning tizbachehu also that not only should the sheikh be a yachid, but the animal should be a yachid as well. It should also be only one. Eli yamid b'chulin. But let's fear ois on Rav Papa's Rav Ashi's taina. Eli yamid b'chulin. I feel lechatchila nami. Why shouldn't I be able to shech two necks at once? Sakti Yomara. Yeah, the Afar B'Shem Melakish Tav Sefer Reisha B'Chulin v'Sefer B'Kachim. Reb Shimon Lakish also named on this thing that the Reish is talking about Bechul and Sefer is talking about Kashim. No, Reb Shimon Lakish be'achas sheshaninu roi v'echad b'kamayu. Since me'achas sheshaninu rubai shalech kamayu, lama shaninu roi v'echad b'oif v'roi shnayim bebehem at the same time. Why do we say? Why do we repeat it? Lefi sheshaninu hevi eloi as a tamid. So and we're going to see from Reb Shimon Lakish's teretz that he's talking about by Kashim. That why lefi sheshaninu hevi eloi as a tamid. What are we talking about? We're talking about on Yom Kippurim, that the Kohen Gadol used to do the avodah by himself, and when he did the avodah by himself, so he had to make sure to quickly do the Kabbalah, the Shechita, and then quickly do the Kabbalah. So if Elo is a Tamid, Kartzai is a lashon of to cut a small cut. He just does the beginning. He does a roiv. Meirak is a lashon of a maschel. Hamaschel b'mitzvah, Tosha says, also, Hamaschel b'mitzvah oimim loy miroik, meaning finish it. Umeirak acher shchitasei ayadei, and somebody else finishes it off, right? So what happens? He starts off the shchita, he does roiv, and the other guy finishes off the roiv. Yachal loy meirak yehei pasul. I would think that it's going to be pasul if he's loy meirak lekach shanino roiv echad ba'oif v'rosh shnayim bebehem. So here we have klar on the first Rav Shimon Lakish that the seif of our Mishnah is coming to be mechadesh. Being mechadish that what is about kachim. That's the chiddush of the sefer. So it stems with the pshat of all the Amoraim that how they learned up in Rabbi Shir that the sefer is bekachim and not the reisha. Okay, amamar. So Stam, what's this word? So I would think that if the second kohen that comes in brings up the rear and finishes off the shechita yehei pasul. If it's ma'akev, if cutting the miyat basra is ma'akev. In other words, how could I have a havamina that the miyat basra is ma'akev? If it's ma'akev, then have you avoid the ba'akev? Tanya kol avoid the same and it would be possible. So what's the havamina? How could I have a havamina that the second kohen that comes in and the closer over here that it's ma'akev? So this is what Rav Shimon Lakish is coming to say, that our mission is coming lafuke, that you shouldn't think yachol yeh pasul b'drabanan. This aga dai techabina ekab so b'drabanan. L'kach shanini roi v'echad b'oif v'roi shnayim b'behema. Roi v'echad b'oif and roi shnayim b'behema is coming to say that there's no psul midrabanan. Frankly, Gemara kasha or me'achad afilu psul midrabanan leka lama li l'marek. If this taka no psul midrabanan, so why taka do we finish it? It's like Gemara mitzvah l'marek. It's taka mitzvah to finish it off, but it's not me'akev. Okay, should we start the Gemara of Yesh l'shchita and l'shchita? Should we start it now, or should we? So we start it tomorrow. Okay, we start it tomorrow. So I just want to say over. I'm ready to get Maisa, Avelt's Maisa, about the sugi of Yesh and Shchita Mitchila Vad Seif and Ein Shchita Mitchila Vad Seif. There's a famous Maisa that's brought down in the Sefer of Orach Chanan about that Rabbi Chanan was learning the what's called the Parnashe Rav says that he was learning bechavrusa with Rabbi Chanan. They were both married. They had their wives at home, and they were learning bechavrusa in Radin in the Kachim Koil. And I guess they held that Chulin is a chelik of Kachim, and they were learning what's called this sugya. They were in the middle of this toisus of going sheshachat simen echad b'chutz, and somebody handed Rabbi Chanan a telegram in the middle of learning, in the middle of the toisus. And you know the story? So again, I don't know why they brought him in the telegram, why did they bring him in the middle of learning, and why did he read it? But he read it. He saw that he had a baby, and he stood up. He stood up, and he said, made a bracha with Shem and Malchus Hatova Meitiv, and he sat down, and he continued. He sat down and he continued with this kasha. How you talking? The loy demand Amma ein al shchita al l'bsoif. How you talking that the beginning is nothing? This was his taina. We'll see. Bez Hashem be marich about it tomorrow. Bez Hashem. This was his taina. And And at the end of the story they bring down is that Rabbi Chanan then afterwards went to Chafetz Chaim. He wanted to know if he should go home for the bris. So you know this part of the story also. So the Chafetz Chaim asked him, "You're doing this? You're doing the meal yourself, or you're hiring a male?" He says, "No, I don't do it myself. I'm hiring what?" He says, "You can do it for me." And Taka, that's what happened. He sent what's called it. He had somebody do the mila, and he didn't come home until Yontif, till Ben Azman. Okay, don't try this at home. Givalde, we'll see you tomorrow, Bez Hashem, 4 o'clock, Bez Hashem, yeah.